I will keep talking. I will make sure that I don't stop talking. And I'm gonna send this stream to my friend now. Bye. Yo guys, how's it going? We're gonna be discussing Elliot Pori, Alex Pereira, and much more. There's a lot going on in the UFC, and I am the best person to actually ask any questions about UFC and about life overall. I have knowledge about every single thing on this planet. Mm. Guys, pop in. When you pop in the stream, also pop in the chat. Ask me any questions. And if you want to join the stream, to be honest, I don't even mind that. You can request me to join the stream. I will let you come and I will let you talk. Now we're gonna be playing Eminem's Mockingbird. How's everybody doing, by the way? Yo, Fike, have you joined the stream? That is amazing. Just let me know if you can hear me, because last time you couldn't. Yeah, so I tried to stream like 4 times and nobody could hear me. And then I've actually changed my settings. You can hear me finally. Amazing, bro. Amazing, bro. This is awesome. Just ask me any question to start a conversation. By the way, did you see what? Did you see about Ilya Taporia? By the way, he's stepping away from UFCs for indefinite amount of time. We don't know when he's gonna come back. When Ilya Taporia is coming back, because the case is actually pretty bad. You know, it's probably like a false allegation, but still, there's something going on. I know what's confusing you. Daddy's always on the move. Yo, that's what I'm saying. What is UFC gonna do now? They're in a very bad position. I mean, Ilya Taporia, to his, to his advantage, he will always want to be like McGregor, and he's finally like McGregor. So Paddy vs. Justin is probably going to be for the lightweight title. At the moment, they haven't said anything about it, so it's still for the interim title. But I think that's what they're finally gonna announce. It will be for the actual title, and then when it's for the actual title, the only problem is if they make for the actual lightweight title, it means somebody else is going to have to fight Paddy in the White House. If Paddy ends up winning against Justin Gaethje, which means UFC is going to have to lose the Ilya Taporia versus Paddy fight, which is a big potential because Arman Saryukin is a beast and he will most potentially beat Paddy Pimblett. So, do you want to take the risk? Because you know why UFC wants to make the fight so bad? First of all, they can both talk trash. Second of all, they've got the history, right? Sanitizer boy history. Third of all, Ilya Taporia is from Spain, Paddy Pimblett from England. Better football rivalry, right? No, that's a good fight, but they want to make the money. They want to put on an event. I think UFC wants to put on an event in Spain. That would be big. Even if they're putting the event in London, there's going to be a lot of Spanish people actually coming here. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're actually doing Ilya Taporia versus Paddy Pimblett in Barcelona, 80,000 people watching. A lot of British fans would be popping over there as well. Amazing. They don't want to lose in that fight. But I guess they can always make it, right? Even if Orman wins it, they can have this fight. Not for the title. Not for the title, just like a normal fight, maybe. I do get your logic though. I do understand it. If they can make Armin versus Patty in the White House and then Elias comes back at the end of the year or maybe next year, and then he can face the winner of that fight, which is most probably Armin Saryukin. So that's one way to look at it. You know what else is interesting? I want Armin Saryukin to be champion. To be honest, this guy's been asking for a title shot for a long, long time. And you know what I want? What else I want? I want Alex Pereira to be fighting on the White House card, but apparently Alex Pereira is not going to be on the White House card. He just said that he's not in. You know what's happening? Because Dana White said there's going to be 8 to 9 title fights, and I think what's happening is you can only make a number of fights on the event, and UFC is probably running out of fights. There's a lot of people who wants to jump on the White House card, and if Alex fight in January, maybe he wants to fight one fight before that, and then on the White House card. It's just the timing. Timing is probably not perfect. It may seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise mama's gonna be. Alright, Fike. What do you say about Pereira, though? What do you guys think about Pereira? Do you guys think he deserves a spot on the White House card? I think he deserves it the most. You know, now it's the problem with the timeline, right? Like last time we were discussing. You have Shrilgan, who's ready for the interim title, and then you have Tom Aspin, who can't even fight for the whole year. It's going to be very difficult because of the surgery and all of this. He's going to have to go through the whole process. He can't even train. So first of all, he's out of training, and then second of all, when he comes back to training, it's going to take him a lot of time to actually come back to fitness, and then he's going to have to hold camp, right? That takes a lot of time. And for Tom Aspinall, that would potentially take like a year. And if he's taking a year, it means the title is going to have to be defended. The title needs to, they need to make an interim title, and then potentially the same thing with like what they're going to be doing with the lightweight title, make an actual heavyweight title, and then Tom's comes back, then he gets an immediate title shot. What a crazy thing going on, right? I was reading the post today, and they were saying Volkanovski is the longest reigning champion in the male UFC division right now, and it's only for 8 months, and he hasn't defended the title once, which is insane. Dana hasn't said anything about the White House card, unfortunately, so we don't really know, right? There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of prerequisite to the White House card because there are fights that have to be made before that in order for us to get the White House title fights. Like Islam Makhachev, I don't know, he might fight before Ramadan, right? They might be able to make that fight. And then in that case, they don't know who's going to be fighting on the White House card because then he might want to also jump on the White House card. And then you have Merab Dvalishvili, right? He needs a rematch, so he might be fighting before that, like March or April, and then he wants to jump on the White House card again. So again, that's like a prereq. Okay, you want to put Merab on the card in April, and then he fights, and then if he wins, then he's the one actually defending the title. But if it's a close match, then you might have to make a rematch against Peter Yan again. But if it's not a close match, then you might have to give the title shot to Umar. So there's a lot of variables going on. But I think Dana is gonna have to give it like a few months to actually see like what fights I'm gonna be putting on the White House card. Other than the title fights, he has more options, I guess. Like if he's going for like a Nate Diaz or like a Masvidal fight, right? If he's going for like a star power fight, these guys have been out for a long, long time. They need long camps to prepare. So if you tell Masvidal right now that we're going to be putting you on the card, or we're going to be making you versus, let's say, Nate Diaz, or even Colby Covington, he's going to be talking a lot of stuff, right? That could be something big. How many title fights there would be for the White House card? Okay, according to Donald Trump, there's going to be 8 to 9 title fights, but I don't know if it's feasible for the card. 8 to 9 title fights on the same card. The timing of that could be very difficult, man, because you're gonna have fighting cards. You're gonna have UFC fights, the title fights prior to that card. So you have fights in March, you have fights in April, and if people get injured during the fights, what are you gonna do with the title fights? Are you gonna make interim title fights then? That's a problem because rarely we see in UFC that people come out unscathed during the title fights. Normally, if it's like a 5 round fight, it takes a lot of time for the athletes to recover. So it's a task. I see it a very unlikely. In a very unlikely situation, you can have the champions staying healthy for the White House card. All of the champions staying healthy for the White House card, and the timings matching for the White House card. Because on the White House card, you don't want to put just any title fight, right? You don't want to put like, let's say Yan is fighting for the title, Yan is the defending the title, and then you put somebody like nobody on the. You can't just put a nobody on the card with Yan because that's not gonna sell, right? It's the same thing with like let's say Islam is fighting on the card. You're not gonna put nobody on the card. You need to find someone who can actually sell the fight. Or can you put like Michael Morales? Okay, he can sell the fight because he's got a lot of knockouts. Carlos Pradas, he's got a character. So you need those type of people to actually fight. But at the same time, are their timelines matching? Are they both ready to fight on the same card? There's a lot of variables going on. Are they fighting before that? Would they come uninjured after their let's say number one contender fight? We need to think about all of this. So yeah, that's the problem. How did you find the Inter Club, by the way? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to add an answer. I can add a Q&A sticker. It's kind of crazy that when I asked a question, when UFC ask any questions about UFC, about being the best fighter or like the best boxer in UFC or any MMA knowledge, complete fighter, Islam Makachev always ends up winning it for some reason. I think he's a fan of Islam. They're just gonna answer Islam for anything. Mm. Yeah, Arman and Patty can definitely sell the fight because Arman said that he doesn't like Patty. I mean, he was trying to sell the fight. And then you have the same thing with Patty Pimblett, who is a good talker anyway. He can sell any fight, I guess. But he also doesn't like Arman. He calls him a rich, posh boy. So, I mean, that is something that UFC needs to keep an eye on. But yeah, man, it's funny. It's like the fans' questions. Anytime you ask any question, Ilya Rustam is right. It has to be like Ilya Rustam, but it's like when I when I post any questions, it's like Islam and Hamza get the most votes. I was even looking at like one of the questions today was like on the UFC, who should be the fighter of the year, and they didn't even put Merab on. They put Islam Makachev. I was it Ilya Taporia, and there was one more guy, and then there was an option for other, but it had Merab's picture on it. So I think what UFC wanted people to do is like click on Merab's picture, and then just type his name, say Merab is the other guy. And they were doing a bit of rage baiting with Islam because they know Islam's fans are gonna vote for him no matter what, and that's what ended up happening. Actually, Islam got like 50 something% votes, and everybody else was getting like 10%, 15%. It's kind of insane. But yeah, in my opinion, Islam Makachev is the most complete fighter. I mean, we can talk about it. I know you're saying Ilya is also an option, but the way I see it is, Islam actually has shown more in UFC. Like Ilya is an amazing fighter. We know he's got like jiu-jitsu in his back. He's probably got jiu-jitsu from his back position as well. Like he's really good. So, and he's one of the greatest boxers. He's a good leg kicker, and he has Greco-Roman wrestling. But if you talk about like showing those skills in the UFC, I think Islam has shown it to the most extent because we've seen the stand-up ability of Islam. We've seen him trading in pocket with Dustin Poirier. We've seen him evading the punches against Charles Oliveira and then finally dropping him. We've also seen him submitting Charles Oliveira. We have seen him submitting multiple people. So we know he's got the ground control. We know he's got the top pressure. We know he's got judo. We know he's got wrestling. Like he's been able to do every single thing on a very high level. So I think when it comes to like actually showcasing the skills, I think Islam has showcased them better than anyone else, more than anyone else in the UFC. With that being said, Elite Poirier is a great fighter. I think he has all the skills in the pocket, but he has not shown that in the UFC yet. He's not. He's dominant. He's very dominant because of his boxing and his takedown defense, and he's got a few submissions, but he hasn't shown it on that level yet. Maybe he needs more fights because Islam has been fighting in UFC for a long time. He has been able to do that against like a high level competition. We haven't seen Ilya against. We've seen him against good guys, but when he got put against those guys, he won because of his boxing, not because of his, I would say, like takedown defense or his Greco-Roman wrestling or his jiu-jitsu. Not because of that. So I think if you put his abilities to the test against the best guys, you're gonna find out actually. Yeah, I think he has them in his bag. Khamzat is most dominant. I would agree to that, but not complete. This is 100% true. But I am surprised actually. 50%, more than 50% of people voted for Hamza Chimaev to be the most complete fighter on one of my posts. It is. I think the fans just like him. He's the most dominant. I agree. He's the best wrestler in UFC. Yes. He's the best MMA wrestler in UFC. Yes. He's got great submissions. He's probably got the best control right now. Like when he's on top of you, it's very hard to escape. But to say that he's the most complete fighter, no. Yeah, there's things he's getting better at. He's getting better at striking, but how much time does he actually spend striking? There's not much time he actually spends on the feet. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't like about that. You know what? I kind of feel bad for him because I think it's a false allegation. It's a false allegation, and his wife is playing with him, and because he's famous, I mean, he said that he wanted to be like McGregor. He's getting the McGregor treatment right now. But that's what comes with fame. You get famous, and people are going to be coming for you, and I think this guy's paying for it. Yeah, he just says that he's not interested in Arman. I don't know if he actually does not want to fight Arman, or it's because he feels like there is a threat from Arman Saryukian. He can lose his 155 title, but he don't want to lose it because then he will lose his aura against Islam Makhachev. Because if he fights Islam Makhachev right now, right, a lot of people are gonna buy the fight. And if Islam ends up beating him, you lost to the best fighter on the planet. That's what people are gonna say. And you compromise on the size. But if he loses to Arman, I think he loses a lot of stock. He loses to a guy who lost to Islam Makhachev. And then the fight between him and Islam is not going to be doing that much of a business. So I think he is also a businessman. He's looking at it from a business point of view. And he can see Ilya and Islam fight doing a lot of business, doing more business than what Arman fight would actually do. But I guess if he keeps on ducking Arman and he actually takes other fights, or maybe even if he's out for like a year, that fight would sell even more. The Arman versus Ilya fight would sell even more because then Arman can make more videos and say like, Ilya is still ducking me. He even faked the allegation from his wife. Maybe him and his wife actually planned it together so they can get rid of my fight, so they don't have to fight me. Yeah, man, that's kind of crazy, bro. Like, I get it. I don't know what Ely is doing because I don't think he's like scared of Arman. He has fought everybody. Like he's fought Max Holloway. He's fought Volkanovski. It's not like he's like scared of Arman. So I don't want to fight him. It's just because it's a lot of risk and he doesn't want to do it at the moment. But I think he will eventually. All right, bro. I'm gonna get off the stream. Actually, I am gonna get off the stream. But yeah, it's a sticky situation with the UFC. It's like a sticky situation with the White House card and what's going on with Ilya, the lightweight division. The whole landscape of lightweight division is changing right now. They might have to create the lightweight championship now. They might have to make the interim title an actual title. But yeah, man, have a good one.